got cleaned up, dinner was ready, and it was ready to come out of the oven. And I remember saying, Lord, if it's, if they're coming for dinner, it's ready right now. They need to come now. As soon as I said that, these headlights hit the window.
Wow.
And I screamed, ah! Sonny and I both ran to the door and to see who it was. And it was Rick Sheldon. And he loved enchiladas.
Aww.
And so Sonny said, God told Carol Marie that somebody was coming for dinner, and so we got all ready. And anyway, so I happen to have the ingredients, and so I learned to listen to the Lord, how to work with what I had. And so the H is getting close to God, learning His voice, knowing His heart. The U is learning principles that are from Him. And then the G is gathering together. It's like we're gathering together, but also those of you who are gathering with us on the internet. And then the other G is giving. We need to reach out. Don't just receive this information for yourself, but give it to others. And then the last one is an S, and that's for smiles. And I'm hoping you'll get a smile through the things that we do tonight, and we have fun. So our first part of it is I'm going to share with you. We'll be letting God hug on us throughout the time. But let's get some principles in line here. Proverbs 30, verse 8, the second part, says, feed me with food convenient for me. There you go. Feed me with food that's convenient. You may not have everything in your house, but God knows how to put it together and make it something,
That's right.
And then verse 9 says, lest I be full and deny thee, and say, who is the Lord? Or lest I be poor and steal and take thy name in vain. So he's saying, I'll be satisfied. I'm not going to wish I had more or complain that I have less, but I'm going to be satisfied. In fact, it makes me think of the Apostle Paul. Remember in Philippians 4, 11 and 12, he says, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am in, that doesn't mean California or Tennessee, but whatever state I am in, wherein to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. And then he says, everywhere and in all things, I am instructed to both be full and to be hungry, both to abound and suffer need. So I think the Lord's just saying, you know what, we need to know how to praise Him at all times and be satisfied, whether we have a whole lot or we have a small amount.
Yeah.
And then our last verse to go along with this.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay, our last verse is Proverbs 31, 14b, and it's talking about the virtuous woman. And it says, she brings her household's food from afar. And I was thinking about that today, and Shirley, I'm thinking, our mama gave us a lot of insights of how to stretch the dollar and how to make food work and so forth. And so we're going to use that afar this time, talking about, let's bring in some recipes and some ideas from generations before us. Let's not let that be lost. And so I'm going to have different widows on the program the Thursdays ahead that can share their recipes, and we'll save their recipes, and we're going to put together a recipe book from each, because it's not quite from scratch. Okay. Alrighty, so now we're getting ready to do something. Shirley, are you thirsty? Would you like something to drink now or after a while?
Whenever you want to.
Okay. And Starley is setting up the camera. We've got two going on at the same time.
This thing is.
All right, so isn't those scriptures great? Okay. So we're gonna put this aside. I'm gonna get my apron. So Starley, what have you appreciated about your grandma, our mama, and some of the things that she has shared with us? I mean, you used some of her recipes, haven't you?
Well, the recipes that I loved with Grandma.
I'm gonna let you talk while I get my apron.
Oh, okay. Is I loved her desserts. Anything that was like fluff. So she always had what would be like ambrosia, or the even the pear and lime. What would that be called? Pear
salad.
The pear lime salad. And so I mean that was just so
It was
good.
a salad, but it tasted like dessert.
Yeah. So this is running low, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for grabbing that.
And if you'll notice, my apron,
Hold on.
Shirley made this for me, and it matches my placemats. Okay. We are going to start with our dressing, I think. And so we're going to. This dressing is a French dressing that is so delicious, and you use it for the dip. But when I first found it, I don't know if you remember, Shirley, but in Victorville, California, they had Edison Electric Company.
I still kept some of their
Recipes? I mean, this is gonna date me, guys, but this is when they were introducing the blender. We're talking about a blender had not been introduced. We only had a mixer at this time. And so they put recipes together to show you how to use things like a blender.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that funny? Anyway, and this was one of the, I mean, this generation now, they think that blenders were always around. Now we have food processors and everything else. But they had the best recipes. And so this is before I was married. And this year I would have been married 55 years. So this is how old this recipe is. And Campbell's soup was around at that time.
Wow.
And so, I want to give you some tips on how to work in your kitchen. I always rinse off my lid before I open a can. Just because, sometimes it falls in or whatever. You don't want to have a dirty lid in there. So, you pop it open and, and then this is the condensed tomato soup. And so